Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to American phrases that British people do not understand. Now, this is going to be a fun one. Like, even though we share the same language, you know, America and the UK, there are, you know, slight differences here and there, which is inevitable. You know, you've got two countries separated by an ocean. There's going to be things that, you know, develop in those countries respectively, ways that you speak, phrases, slang, stuff like that, that the other place will just not know about. So, you know, it's going to be fun to I would love to know, what are some British phrases that you guys don't understand? Like, let me know in the comments, like phrases that you've heard that you had to kind of Google what they mean. Maybe stuff that I've said that you've had to Google what it means. Let me know, I'd love to know. But yeah, this video should be a lot of fun. Let's do it.
For the birds, a carpetbagger, and getting to third base. That's right, in today's episode of the vlog, I'll be talking about American phrases that people from this side of the pond, the UK and Scotland, just don't understand. That's coming right up after this. Hello everybody, how are you doing? And welcome to today's episode of the vlog. My name is Sean. I'm a YouTuber from Edinburgh in Scotland, and it is great to be speaking to you and sharing these cultural exchanges between Scotland and America. And you know what? Today I was on a plane travelling from Edinburgh to right here in London, and I was sat next to an American couple who were speaking all about life in general, nothing important, but they had a couple of phrases they came out with that I was like, huh? What does that mean? And that got me thinking, like, what other phrases do you guys use that we really don't and just don't get? And let me look into them, because I think that's fascinating, right? So, welcome. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, what does for the birds mean? For the birds. Oh, man. Not for us, not for me. I can't really think of it.
Here, it is great to speak to you as always.
For the birds.
And listen, if you're new, please don't forget, you need to hit the red subscribe button down in the bottom corner, and then you will be part of the family from here on in. Have you done it? Yes, you have, because you are my hero. Right, now here's something interesting. It is the anniversary, right now, Memorial Day weekend holiday of my trip to the United States of America with the United States Embassy to the UK. I was a British public diplomat, apparently, with the US Embassy. I was invited by the embassy to go and tour America and explore American values, and it was such a valuable trip for me.
Really?
I learned so much, right? We arrived on Memorial Day weekend in Washington, DC, and got to take part in Memorial Day celebrations. It was phenomenal. And
that would be fun. Like, when is Memorial Day usually? Like, that is one of the big public holidays in the States, isn't it? Along with sort of like the 4th of July and Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'd love to sort of tour America on Memorial Day.
Really opened my mind about America and really got me interested in thinking, there's so much about America that I don't know. There's so many places in America that I don't understand and I've never been, and I want to know more, right? It was a superb trip, and that's really why I have been doing these cultural exchange videos between Scottish culture and American culture. Actually, number one on the list of the 14 different phrases that I've picked up, found online, I want to discuss. A Monday morning quarterback. What on earth is a Monday morning quarterback?
My guess is this is someone who on a Monday morning is really good at what they do, but as the week goes on, they kind of like fade, I'm guessing, a little bit.
Right, I'm going to be guessing these as we go along and then looking up the official versions. Quarterback is a football analogy, obviously, but let me guess. What is a Monday morning quarterback? I'm going to guess that a Monday morning quarterback, presumably Monday is the worst day for training because you've just had a game on the weekend, so you're lazy. Is that right? Let's have a look. Apparently, it is a person who second guesses things. A Monday morning quarterback. I guess I'm a bit of a Monday morning quarterback sometimes.
Second guesses things. But what's the connection to Monday mornings and quarterbacks?
I don't really get that phrase. I don't know why it exists. But if you're into football, presumably you do know. Number two, another sporting one, I think. Being behind the 8 ball. What is that? Behind the 8 ball. Literally, I can't even guess what this is.
Behind the 8 ball. The 8 ball is one of the balls in pool. Like, we call it snooker here. What's the significance of the 8 ball? Is that the main ball?
Is 8 ball. Like I said, billiards, snooker, or something like that. You're hiding behind the ball, is that right? You're hiding? Let's have a look. Someone who's behind the 8 ball, apparently, is someone who is in a difficult position. There you go. Number 3, when something is, and I quote, for the birds. Maybe
it
is, because we do this in Scotland, right? I don't know about the rest of the world. In Scotland and in the UK in general, when you have old food that's like pretty much out of date, like bread in particular, if it's out of date,
you give it to the birds.
For the birds.
Yeah.
Is that what this is? Is when somebody is talking about something that is really trivial. That is for the birds, as somebody is just talking nonsense, trivial stuff for the birds.
Oh, like small talk kind of thing. Interesting. But I'd love to know the etymology, like why birds? Like, what was the reason that selection of words is used to describe that thing?
I do like that. Here's a political one, I believe, okay? Carpetbagger. Boy, oh boy, what on earth is a carpetbagger? Carpetbagger. Like, I'm just going to think, right? Maybe carpet trade was important in those days between North and South. I think it's something to do with that. If you go way back in history, a carpetbagger is someone from the north of the United States of America who went to the south to try and make money. Sometimes, regardless it means. But in a modern day context, a carpetbagger, apparently, is a politician who seeks election in a district, state, city that they don't live in. But it could also be a corporation, apparently, that profits from others' misfortune. Wow, there must be something about carpets in there. The trade of carpet. I don't know.
Maybe
but that is fascinating. I'm going to need to research about some of these. Number 5, this is something I have heard throughout my life and have never understood, okay? Fascinating because it's part of pop culture, part of television culture. We see it on TV all the time and we hear it when we hear any kind of American shows, right? Plead the fifth. Plead the fifth amendment.
Yeah, I know this one. I think to plead the fifth is basically you do not want to discuss or give an explanation for something. You want to take like the silent option.
I don't know the American Constitution well enough. I don't know what the Fifth Amendment is. So I don't know what this one is, right? I am fascinated. The Fifth...
It's like the right to remain silent, isn't it?
Amendment of the US Constitution protects people from self-incrimination. So presumably when somebody is pleading the Fifth, it means they are going to withdraw from making comment on something so as not to incriminate themselves. Is that roughly what it is? Please interject down below in the comments.
Right,
let me know if I'm kind of understanding or interpreting these correctly. Number 6, pork barrel politics. Listen, I have no Scooby-Doo. I have not a clue. Rhyming slang there for you that you might not know about. There's a British one. I have not a clue. Not a Scooby-Doo what this might mean. Pork barrel politics. Pork barrel is someone who is corrupt, right? Is that what I'm going to guess here? Pork barrel politics apparently is when a politician makes pledges towards a certain industry, maybe pledges some support or money towards a certain industry,
but they don't follow through.
In return they will get favours politically. Right, the next one. Put up your...
Basically sort of like a bit of corruption, a little bit.
Dukes. I think this might actually be, in its origin, British. I've got the feeling.
I think that's to like fight,
but I don't fully know what it means. So putting up your dukes is your fists. I'm going to say that is like in a defensive sort of thing. Let's have a wee look. Put up your dukes, put up your hands apparently, and get ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Put up your dukes. Something bad's about to happen. Bought the farm. Listen, this could be literally anything for me. Is that in reference, like if you bought the farm, like if you just spent a lot of...
I think to bought the farm, like isn't that like a big sort of gamble? You took a big risk, I think.
Money on something because farms are expensive? I don't know. Let's see. Bought the farm apparently is a euphemism for when someone is dying. That's a bit morbid. I don't totally understand it. Do any of you guys know better? Let me know in the comments, please. Here's one. Keeping up with the Joneses. That's another one we hear on TV, especially from American sitcoms.
I think this one is when you basically are like trying to keep up with people in terms of appearances. Like someone you know bought a new house, or you buy a new house. Someone got a new kitchen, like did a remodeling, you do a remodeling.
Comms and stuff, but not something that we generally use here in the UK, but I kind of understand what it means, right? Without looking, it is when your neighbours, maybe a work colleague or a relative, is someone who spends a lot of money, likes to flash, buy lots of nice stuff and brag about their situation, and you feel that you have to try and compete with that. Is that right? Alright, number 10, taking a rain check. I think we kind of understand this, but we don't use it. Like another one that we hear on culture TV quite often, right? Taking a rain check means that you're going to cancel your plans, presumably because it's raining, or you can use the excuse it's raining, even though it's not raining.
Yeah, I think this one is basically just you don't fancy doing something right now, so you just say, I'll take a rain check, sort of thing, right?
Is that right? Apparently it came from when a baseball game was rained off and they couldn't play. So spectators received a rain check, which was a ticket to allow them to come back to the game in future.
I see.
Another sporting one. I had no idea this had anything to do with sports. I thought it was literally just the rain. But that makes a lot of sense. This one's quite similar to one we've just had a few minutes ago. Jonesing. Jonesing, I mean, like, is it going back to keeping up with the Joneses here? Is it the same type of thing? When somebody is jonesing for something...
I'm going to guess, I think I've heard this one before. When you're jonesing for something, it's like you really want it. Like if someone's like addicted to something, they're like, oh, I'm jonesing for a fix sort of thing, right?
It means they have a craving, either for an experience or an object. Another sporting one that I kind of understand because of culture, but we just don't use this at all here. Getting to second, getting to third base. I don't know if that's right. Is it one or the other? I don't know what it means. Getting to second or third base. Baseball analogy, right? You have second and third base in baseball. Something to do with relationships when you're like making progress in your relationship.
I think
you went from just dating and talking to something
intimate
else.
Stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
I have just looked up the meaning and yeah, I knew it was a relationship thing, but I didn't know the specifics of that relationship thing. Second base, direct physical contact between partners, people who have just recently hooked up, if you like. And apparently second base specifically refers to petting, touching. I'm getting what that means now. We don't need to go any further. So what does third base mean then? I think we'll just leave that for now. Alright, okay, we're getting there. Shoot the breeze. Again, this is something that we've heard, but I really don't understand it. I mean, this is quite a funny one because, like, shoot the breeze. I'm not kind of sure if this is something to do with actually firing off a gun or something like that, but there you go. I can't really guess what that means at all. But apparently it's just when you're talking to somebody about nothing important, nothing in particular. You're shooting the breeze. Alright, okay, can I get it? I don't really understand where that comes from, but it makes a little bit of sense. The last one, John Hancock. Was he not one of your signatories of American independence? The Declaration of Independence? So I know that's who he is roughly, but I have no idea why his name would be used as a phrase, as a verb, potentially.
It's got to be something that he did, maybe, or was known to do.
If I was to guess, I don't know. What did he do that was important? He signed a declaration. Let's have a look. If somebody's asking for your John Hancock, they're asking for your signature because apparently had a very interesting, peculiar and flamboyant signature. There you go. I had no idea. That is fascinating. And guys, I feel like we have just touched the surface with this. There must be so many regional ones.
I love videos like that. It's just so interesting just seeing how, you know, the English language has evolved in different English speaking countries, the phrases that have, you know, resulted as, you know, from like history, things that have happened, maybe things that you used to do, like taking a rain check, you know, that coming from baseball. Because we don't really play baseball here, we would have no reason to develop that phrase. So it's kind of cool just to see how history can influence language, you know, like that. It's really, really interesting video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.